Hey there. I just delivered my first speech on the international speaking circuit. I'm Belle from The Root Cause, and I have long been passionate about children's health, but have been looking, how do I break out of the Australian market and share my passion with more of the world? Now, I would never have had the courage or the know-how how to craft a 15-minute talk, which is what I want to do, a TED Talk, without the support of the amazing Laurie-Ann. I have just completed her incredible program, the In-Demand Signature Speech Program, and it gave me an amazing formula to create my signature speech, which I gave a little over a week ago, a full hour presentation speech. And then from that, I was able to customize it and turn it into my 15-minute TED Talk. So I just wanted to share, if you are someone who see that the next progression in your career is to actually do speaking, then the one place that you can go to get the support that you need to kickstart is the In-Demand Signature Speech Program, and you'll be ready to take on the speaking circuit as well. Laurie-Ann, thank you so much for everything that you have done for me, for helping me take that next level.
Do you ever scroll past a speaker announcement and think, I wish that could be me. If only I knew where to start. Or maybe you've spoken before, but it's been a while and you just feel like your speaking skills are a little rusty. And now you're feeling like the industry's best kept secret. If you're nodding, okay, this episode is going to be for you. I'm sharing the behind the scenes peek at In Demand, my membership, that's helping coaches and consultants just like you turn their message into book speaking gigs, deliver with confidence, and attract more ideal clients. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab your coffee or take me on your walk or to the gym, and let's talk about what's possible for you when you stop trying to figure it all out alone. Hey, I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, and this is Be in Demand, the podcast that is all about how to leverage public speaking events so that you get positioned as the expert, monetize your story, and attract your ideal clients, especially in this very interesting economy we have going on. There's a lot of lack of trust, and when you are the speaker, you can build instant trust with your audience, and in your audience is your ideal clients. So let's talk a little bit more about In Demand, my membership. First off, it's a little over 5 years old. Yes, I started this back in 2020 when the speaking world literally collapsed on itself. I remember exactly where I was when I decided to do this, and it was before the world shut down. And I remember having this conversation with my coach. I was actually in Vegas at a speaking event and told her, yes, I'm going to start this membership called Be in Demand because there's so many people out there who really need to be sharing their message, telling their story, because your story is like a lighthouse for somebody else. They need to find you in the dark so that they can find their next step. So, being the manifesting generator that I am, I made a decision and just went for it. And I had launched it off of a challenge that I did. I have this Get Booked to Speak challenge. It's 5 days of content. And the funny thing about the challenge was I hadn't really thought about what I was going to offer or promote at the end, because that's the sort of person that I am. I just want to get this information out there. And somebody had said to me, people are going to want to know, like, how can they continue to work with you after this Get Booked to Speak challenge? And I just thought, oh, like I had taken a program on how to run a membership, how to start a membership, launch it, all that great stuff. And I thought, that was over a year ago. Oh, it was almost a year ago. And I thought, this is the perfect thing to launch off of that challenge. So I did, and got a bunch of people to sign up. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about the dates and stuff, it was 2019. So about 9 months before the world shut down, 9 months before the speaking world shut down. because I did launch it again 6 months later and had more people join. But then 2020 happened and I had a lot of people drop out. And it's still been going on. And I was still putting content in there. And the funny thing is, it's sort of been a secret. So it's only lately that I have been kind of coming out from underneath the rock of just working with one-on-one clients. And so in the past few years, I would run in-demand signature speech and off of in-demand signature speech because, like that's my signature program. The way to stay in my world was I offered in-demand the membership. I know you're seeing a theme here. Everything's in demand, be in demand signature speech, in demand the membership, which has been a lot of fun because if you've been around me long enough, you know why I call things, why I want you to be in demand. So that's been the only way that people have really gotten inside of in demand the membership is after going through my program, In Demand Signature Speech. This whole month, I've been promoting In Demand and sharing a little bit more about it. So I figured I would do an entire podcast on it because it's a fabulous way to get into my world, be able to work with me, not in a one-on-one way, but in an intimate group setting. And part of the reasons why I created In Demand, the membership, was because I just saw so many people have so many ideas and so many great stories, but they were still holding themselves back. That fear of being visible, not knowing what to say, not knowing who to pitch or even how to pitch in a way that gets people interested in who you are and your story and your expertise. So that's why In Demand got started. I can't possibly work with everybody one-on-one, but inside In Demand, the membership, I really can help more people. So that's why I created it. And it's a lovely community. It's a support system built to help you get seen, get booked, and most importantly, get paid. You know how I love that spin-off business. So let me tell you a little bit about what's inside In Demand, the membership, because there's lots of training modules that have been created through the years, lots of different master classes. And so I will share with you some of them. So number one, this is like foundational, and it's called Your Subject Matters. There is a formula for knowing, does your subject, are people going to pay for your subject? That's basically what it is. I want you to take, what are you interested in? What do you have experience in? And will the market pay for this? And sometimes this comes down to the right verbiage, putting it in the language that the buyer is used to and wants to hear it in, and that makes it sound valuable. Like one of my best examples is nobody's hiring a customer service speaker anymore, but they are hiring customer engagement speakers. The next one is your solution. Like once you have a subject and you know what your subject is, what's the solution that you actually solve? What's a solution that your customers actually need and want solutions for? What's their pain? So here are some other things. Because growing your email list, you've heard me talk about this, and I'm bringing on a couple of more experts onto the Be in Demand podcast, this podcast, to talk about email lists, about nurturing your email list. But what about your one sheet? A lot of people have asked me about one sheets and media kits. And here's how I feel about them. And here's how to come up with your very own. So there's a whole training on that. There's a training on presentations, about virtual presentations, your introductions, because you need to be writing the introduction that somebody is going to speak to the audience before they bring you on stage, because that speaker introduction can really set the tone. So you don't want some boring bio that just puts your audience to sleep. We are setting the tone. And what about content? Like the content that you're putting out on social media that constantly talks about you and your expertise, and that you're a speaker for hire. And of course, how to pitch people with my open the door to the conversation. And then there's like so many different master classes about your voice, about humor, hypnosis to help you get over that fear of speaking. Storytelling masterclasses in there also. There's so many different masterclasses. And the greatest thing is that I know, like, in the very near future, the community has asked me to do a special training on proposals. They want to see what and how I craft proposals. So that's going to be something that is definitely coming up. And we meet twice a month so that you can bring your questions and get my eyes on your speech, on your pitches, on your questions that are coming up. I recently had one of my members say, "Hey, I just had somebody say, 'What's my speaker fee? How much do I charge? How do I respond to this?'" You bring that to a mastermind call, and I'm going to give you the answer that is not only going to solve that problem, but also inspire you and make you feel comfortable about taking that action. Because the most important thing is that I always want you to look like a pro. Even if you've never spoken before and you're inside in demand because you want to start speaking and you're listening to this podcast because you want to start speaking, I always want you to look like a pro. Because my clients who look like a pro and have those pre-event meetings before they say yes to a meeting planner or a conference organizer about being one of their speakers, even if you're not getting paid, even if you're doing a no-fee speaking situation, you handle it like a pro, and all of a sudden they're going to be like, "Ooh, wow." I had one of my clients, and it was her very first speaking opportunity. Very first mom's conference that she was speaking, she reached out to me and said that they accepted my pitch and they want me to speak. And I said, "Well, you can't just say yes. You got to get on the phone with them and ask her some questions." And she did. We had a list of questions. She asked them, and the woman said, "I can't pay you. We don't have a budget for speakers, but I can comp your room." And she comped her room for 3 days. And she was bringing a couple of girlfriends with her who were acting as her assistants. So that's what happens when you look like a pro. It's the, "I'm sorry that I don't have a budget for speakers, but here's what else I can do for you. Here's how I can compensate for that fact that I don't have a budget for speakers." You're inspiring them. You are acting like a pro. And another person, oh my goodness, like during the time that we were working together, like she got on TV, morning TV 5 times using the pitch templates. I was like, just, yeah, use them. And here's what you need to consider when you're on TV. And here's what you wear when you're on TV. Here are some questions to ask when you get onto the set. That was really great. I've had another client who also, because of speaking, she got paid to write a book. Paid to write a book. I had another person that was inside In Demand the membership, and after being there only a week, she got booked for a $3,000 speaking event. That just confirmed to her that the world wants to hear what she has to say. The world is interested in her topic, which was on relationships. So if you are thinking about joining In Demand and you want to learn a little bit more, you can go to speakandstandout.com/IND for In Demand. And that's where you can learn a little bit more about all the different information, read more testimonials from my clients and my students. And because I don't want you to ever feel like, "Oh my God, I'm trapped in some sort of a program and some membership that I can't ever get out of." All like if it's not for you, it's not for you. But come on in, give it a shot, check it out. And if it's not for you, all you got to do is just send me an email and we will stop the payments. Speaking is the fastest way to grow your business, but it's also the fastest way to burn out if you're trying to figure it all out on your own. And inside In Demand the membership, you're not going to be guessing anymore. You're going to learn the strategy. You're going to get support. And you'll be taking the kind of action that gets you seen, booked, and remembered. Remember, the three C's lead to the three R's. Your speech needs to be compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting so that your audience remembers you, raves about you, and refers you to other people, to other stages. So there's no more wondering what to say in your pitch because there's a whole module on pitching. There's no more second guessing about your speaker page because there's a whole module on that too. And definitely no more hiding behind the word someday. Your story is unique. And you've heard me say that your message really matters, and your audience, well, they're out there and they are waiting for you. So if you're ready to step into the spotlight with confidence and join me and the other members of In Demand, I want you to head on over to speakandstandout.com/IND. And that link is down below. And I will see you inside of In Demand, the membership. But until next week, I want you to be in demand. Hey, before you go, are you still the best kept secret in your industry? And what would be different if more people actually knew how good you are? Well, introducing In Demand, my monthly membership for coaches and consultants just like you who are ready to stop hiding and start using speaking to grow their business. You don't need more items on your to-do list. You need visibility, confidence, and clients. And that's exactly what In Demand helps you build. One member actually said, "This gave me the confidence to land my first paid speaking gig." If you've been thinking, someday I'll put myself out there, today is the day. Doors are now open, and you can join us for our next live training at speakandstandout.com/IND for In Demand, and that link is down below. Your audience is waiting.